I often find myself either fighting against or trying to ignore the wild part of me, which doesn't make any sense at all, because that's the part of me I love and trust the most. My ego very quickly glances over the wisdom of my wild self and begins to look to my mind to control my life. If you were to ask me, do you really trust reason, logic, and your mind over your heart and your intuition? I would say, definitely not. I trust my inner wild woman and her spiraling, illogical ways way more than I trust my mind and its attachment to making my ego feel good about itself. So why do I find myself in these patterns of not trusting my inner wild self? I habitually put my mind in charge and assume that it's going to lead me where I want to go. But my mind has never led me in a direction I felt good about. My mind and ego have only ever led me to places that didn't feel right for me. And it's not that my mind should be ignored. It's just that my mind has been stuck in a pattern of serving my ego instead of my heart. The wild part of me has always made it impossible for me to accept anything less than the most stripped down and genuine version of me. So every time my mind and ego lead me down a path that doesn't feel right, I stay there for a while and then eventually wake up to the realization that this place is not for me. I then remember that I want to be in the lonely and uncultivated, rugged landscape that has no path, and that the only way back to my wild self is through the wilderness. The feral part of me wouldn't allow myself to fully commit to a path that wasn't wild or uniquely mine. This always left me feeling like I must not be capable of accomplishing my dreams, and eventually left me feeling like a failure because I had nothing to show for myself. No shining career, no grand result of my dreams coming true. Only closed doors and more winding paths leading me in what felt like the complete opposite direction of my dreams. My inner wild woman was never going to lead me to accomplish the dreams of my ego. Her job is to guide me towards a deeper truth within myself and to show me how to be unbound from a way of life that wasn't for me, that was too tame, too predictable. All along, I was destined to fail at the dream of my ego because my wild self was never going to sacrifice herself for something she didn't believe in. If I were to pan out to be a bird looking down at my life, I would probably see an intricate labyrinth, not a failed attempt at life, but an elaborate design that only I could have made with each step I've taken. And maybe I was meant to trust my mind over my heart for years on end, just to learn how to interrupt the pattern and begin fully following the wild one within me. Maybe from the sky, I would be able to see that I was never lost, but always being guided by the part of me that will never be tamed, forever learning how to follow my instincts and trust the rhythms of nature above everything else.